Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, and let's crack on with today's first story. Much love guys. Now today's first story comes from King Jake 200 from the Am I the Arsehole subreddit, and it says, am I the arsehole for installing a camera in my room to see if my mum is lying to me? I'm 19 male and my mum 49 female. I've had numerous fights the past few weeks, most of which are on the same topic, that being her going into my room and looking around without me knowing. Basically, every time I would leave the house for work or anything else, I would always leave my door fully closed, but would come back to it open. Also, I'd be incredibly positive that certain things had been moved around or straight up gone. So naturally, I'd ask my mum if she'd gone into my room. She would always say no. Now maybe the first couple of times I could play it off as me forgetting to close my bedroom door, but once it started happening multiple times a week, I knew that wasn't the case. So yesterday I went out and bought one of those Bluetooth surveillance cameras. At this point I was positive she was going in my room behind my back and then lying about it. I just wanted proof, because I knew this would just continue happening otherwise. The morning before I left for work I made sure the camera was working, closed my bedroom door completely, then headed out. At around midday, I got a notification on my phone that the camera had detected some motion, so I pulled it up to view the recording. Wouldn't you know it, there was my mum going through my drawers, closet, and desk. She was even grabbing certain things and tossing them out in the hallway. I closed the video seething, making sure I saved it first, and planned to confront her first thing when I was done with my shift. When I got home, I immediately asked her if she had gone into my room. She said no. I responded by pulling up the video and holding my phone in front of me so she could see it. Instead of apologizing, she exploded. She screamed at me for installing a camera in her house without her permission. I responded by demanding an explanation for her going in my room. She insisted that she had a right to as my mother. She began questioning certain things in my room, which I said is none of her business. At this point, I was done. I stormed off and went to my room. Within the hour, my phone started blowing up with messages from my family, all siding with my mum, telling me I'm insane for putting up a camera. I kid you not, the entire family is on my mum's side except my dad. Unfortunately, my dad can't stop this himself, as my parents split up years ago and he isn't allowed in my mum's house. I swear I'm doing nothing wrong here. Like, it's my only space in the house where I keep my things, relax, and do my own stuff. Or am I just completely out of my mind? Am I the arsehole? Extra information. I've never stolen anything. Not from stores or other family members. I've never had a history of drugs or smoking and vaping. The things I saw from the video of her taken from my room have been these: a notebook, a pair of sneakers from my collection, a few pairs of my pants, some plastic clothes hangers, my second bedside lamp, and old paychecks from my work. I also don't pay rent. It was the change up from her that I never go into your room to I have every right to go in your room the second she got caught. It pretty much tells you everything, right? And honestly, going through drawers and throwing random belongings into the hallway is sort of way beyond normal parent behavior for a 19-year-old with no history of drugs, theft, or anything dangerous. That's not like checking up your kid or trying to protect them. It's almost treating them already like a suspect while refusing any privacy for them at all. And it's wild that the rest of the family is siding with her, and I always wonder in those situations, what has she told them? Because anyone else would be like, no, what the fuck, she's in the wrong here. So I always wonder, like, has mum been telling them something else? I mean, there's just every chance they're all just as batshit as her, but we'll soon find out, I guess. The commenter says, ask her what she's looking for. Seems like she's trying to find something. Opie says I can't get a clear answer from her. She just goes in a series of loops of denying, I'm your mother, and repeat. It's very infuriating, but I literally have nothing to hide. No drugs, no alcohol, just nothing. A commenter says, not the arsehole. You have a right to your privacy. However, your mother owns the home you have a room in. I suggest you either save up to leave or have a lockbox/safe to keep whatever is precious to you hidden away. There is very little I can recommend since you are technically an adult and it is legally her home. Unless she threw away something expensive and not illegal to possess, drug paraphernalia for instance, you can't exactly call the cops on her. If you're paying rent, then you could ask her for a contract with privacy stipulation and a key lock on the door, but given how everything has been blown up, I don't think your mother will give way. Parents use housing as a form of control, so really the only move is to leave and threaten low or no contact. What was thrown away? Opie says from what I could see in the recording, she threw one of my notebooks, a pair of my many shoes, I have a collection, and weirdly some plastic clothes hangers. I have no clue where they ended up. Not in the trash for sure, but my mum's room has a lock on it, so checking there is out of the question. A commenter says, not the arsehole in any way. You are an adult and have every right to your privacy. You pay rent or are living at home for free. Opie says I live there for free right now. I know how lucky I am not to pay rent, but who knows if she'd just randomly change her mind. Commenter says, can you move in with your dad? Opie says I absolutely can, and that's probably what is going to happen. Flower Girl says, not the arsehole at all. She's the one snooping and lying about it. You literally just gathered proof of what was already happening. The only reason she's mad is because she got caught, not because the camera is some grand violation. Quoting, I have a right to as my mother, and says, yeah, no, you're 19, not 9, and the fact that she was throwing your stuff into the hallway. What was she even looking for? Her exploding instead of apologizing tells you everything. Family piling on is classic. They always go after the person who exposed the problem instead of the person who caused it. You're not crazy. Only thing I'd say is start thinking about how to move on long term, because this dynamic is not going to get better while you live there. Opie says I've talked to my dad about this. He said I'm always welcome at his place and can spend as long as I want there. I'm probably going to his place and I'm considering permanently. Commenter says, show your family the video and ask them to explain how this is normal and acceptable. How did she spin it to them? Can you look into living with your dad and I'd start planning a way to move out? Opie replies one more time and says, I showed all of my family with video. Literally no improvements there. They say the camera is inappropriate or still hit me with the she's your mother bullshit. And yes, I can move in with my dad if needed, although at this point it's likely. She wasn't backing down to begin with, and given the rest of the family, minus my dad, aren't either. So Opie came in with a bunch of small updates throughout the week. The first one said, over the course of the week I'm going to start moving things to my dad's place. I'm also not telling my mum about it until everything is gone. I appreciate you all making me realize my mum was overstepping a lot. Another one says, I did what many of you suggested and checked my credit to make sure no money went magically disappearing. I'm pleased to say that nothing was gone, but that didn't stop me from locking it. As far as I know, she doesn't have any information on it, as the pay stubs don't actually have my card number or any information for my account, just the money I was paid over a certain period. Again, thanks to all of you who replied. I greatly appreciate all of you. Another one says, move my first couple of things over to my dad's. Lucky my mom wasn't home when I did that, so it was really easy. I will continue to do this throughout the week. Another one says, I can no longer view the video feed from the camera. I just get an unable to connect pop-up. I don't think I need to be Sherlock Holmes to figure this out, although I won't know for sure until I go back home to grab more stuff. It was still in its normal spot earlier today when I went to grab stuff. And another one says, sorry for the long wait on the next update. I wanted to stay away from the post for a bit just to clear my head. I've moved a lot more things over to my dad's. Also, I've decided that I'm not going to move everything. Some things just aren't worth moving. My dad said he'd help me buy some more things that I won't move over. No, yeah, the camera is gone. Not in the trash, just like straight up disappeared. I'll just let your thoughts run wild on that. I'll only update one last time, which is when I'm officially at my dad's. Again, I greatly appreciate every single one of you for your support. So it was after 26 days that Opie comes in with their final update and says, at my dad's now you're. I actually moved a week ago, just didn't get around to update this post. My mum has tried to call me around 3 times a day, but I always decline the calls. I'm positive she will play the victim and blame me somehow. She has done that before over other things. But yeah, I feel much better at my dad's. The room at my dad's actually has a lock on it, so I don't even need to worry about privacy. Not saying that I don't trust my dad, because I absolutely do. Again, all of your support over these past few weeks was greatly appreciated. I wish I could give you all a big hug right now, but this is the last you'll hear from me on this post. Take care, everybody. And a lot of this, it just felt like it was about control rather than, air quotes, concerned parenting. And the fact that her entire family saw literal video proof of her lying and still defended her with, she's your mother, explained exactly why she's this way. She's surrounded by people that will enable her, who think being a parent automatically means you're above any boundaries, privacy, or accountability too. And it's one of those where in years to come, they'll be asking themselves why my kid doesn't want to talk to me, like we see in a lot of these stories. And it's just thinking, bloody hell, all you had to do was respect their privacy and that was it. Bloody hell. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below, and let's move on to another story. Now our next story comes from the Am I the Arsehole Here subreddit from Silent Occasion 6870, and it's titled Am I the Arsehole Here for not donating for a sick kid, which led to others doing the same. My 39 male, husband 35, has a big family and they are always in about each other's business and causing drama. I generally keep out of it and let him deal with them all. This time I was dragged into it and it is all blown up. He has a cousin who is married to a twat of a guy. They have an 8-year-old boy. They are all about show and live outside their means. Everything is on finance. Nice cars, luxury holidays, etc. Through the family grapevine, we have heard that they're in about 80k of debt. He has a job that pays about 100k a year. We have never got on. There have been the gay jokes. Nothing too bad, but irritating. He also hates the fact that we both do extremely well for ourselves. Not to brag, but we have access to 7 figures in savings and investments. The family knows, but people on the outside have no idea. We live a quiet life, no flashy cars or Insta posts about our holidays. Last year, he came into a decent inheritance in the form of a 750k house. Would not shut up about it. This is all relevant. Now to the issue. Unfortunately, the kid has become ill. Extremely ill. Not going to die, but their life will definitely be more difficult. There is a treatment available that might help, but it will cost around 250k. They came to us and asked if we would pay for it. We said we would need to discuss it and ultimately went back to them and said that this isn't something that we would do. That was not a fun phone call. He kicked off calling us every name under the sun. Our reasons will become clear soon. After this call, they put us on blast in the family group chat and on Facebook. We were getting calls and messages from people going in hard on us. This is when I messaged the chat and commented on their Facebook. I explained that if they could not afford it, we would have helped. They have a paid off 750k house. I pointed out that there is nothing stopping them from releasing some equity in the house and this will pay for the treatment and clear their debt. Their mortgage payments would be less than what they previously paid in rent. I also pointed out that they could cancel their 2 upcoming 10k holidays and downgrade their cars. I said that I felt like we'd be paying to maintain their lifestyle, and as parents, they should be doing everything they should to help said kid. Since this, there has been more name calling and dramatics, but most of the family have now pivoted to our point of view. This has led to some of them who previously promised money pulling out. We are all being called monsters for not helping a sick kid. I don't think we are, but that is why we are here. Am I the arsehole? Now, it's extremely sad to hear that a kid has become extremely ill. But at the same time, they do have the means to help their child, they just don't want their lifestyle to change. And that's why the family support collapsed. The second OP pointed out the paid off 750k house, the luxury holidays, the financed cars. It stopped being, this family can't save their child, and became the family wants everyone else to sacrifice so they don't have to downsize. And then they're publicly taking it on Facebook before using any of their own assets. It just felt like really manipulative, trying to guilt them and social pressure to get them to do it. You'd think most families would do whatever it takes to help their child out in that situation, and the fact that they went straight to demanding money from relatives or protecting their own lifestyle is why people pulled back in the end. A commenter says to OP, "People sure are generous with other people's money, not the arsehole." Another commenter says, "Not just that, but some people sure feel entitled to other people's money. But you make so much more than I do and are so much more responsible than I am. Obviously you should pay for it." Another commenter says, "Imagine having a sick kid and instead of coming up with the money, you go on expensive holidays and expect other people to pay for your kid. Wild." Commenter says, "You didn't say anything that everyone else wasn't already thinking, and the proof of that is others are pulling out. You spoke the truth and some people just never want to hear the truth." Another commenter says, "How is this even a question? They have the money." OP says, "Apparently because we are rich and don't have kids, we should cough up." They also pointed out how we have helped other family members. We've paid for 3 of their universities and also bought 2 houses for ones who were genuinely struggling. So OP came in with an update 10 days later and said, "It's been a crazy couple of weeks, so I thought I would update you all. First off, a lot of you were right. There was a lot more going on than anyone knew. There was something off about the whole situation, but the one thing we knew is that the kid was sick. My husband saw a post on socials that his cousin's husband was out of town for the weekend. We decided to reach out to the cousin and see if she would meet us for a coffee. She did, and she invited us round to their house. I know a lot of you will say we were stupid to go round, but my husband had been close to his cousin growing up and just wanted to see if there was something that could be figured out. I was against it, but it was important to him. I didn't need to be there, but I'm going to be honest, I was there for the tea. Anyway, things were off in the house. I don't know how to describe it, but she seemed out of place in her own home, on edge. At first I thought it was because we were there and the whole situation was awkward. After everyone was settled, we started talking and basically said that we stand by what we said. If we could help in other ways that worked for everyone, we would. She broke down and it all came out. Uh-oh. It turns out that her husband has a gambling problem and $80,000 was nowhere close to their debt. He'd taken out $550,000 against the house as soon as he got it. This cleared what he owed on credit and to some less than savory people. The problem is his gambling problem did not go away. Surprise, surprise, and it had crept back up again to the tune of about $100,000. Fucking crazy. As predicted by some of you, the out-of-pocket for the treatment was not $250,000, it was closer to $125,000. He decided to double it and approach us to kill two birds with one stone, clear the debt and pay for treatment. Before I go any further, we are now paying for the full treatment directly to the hospital. Appointments are being made and hopefully the little guy will start in the next few weeks. What we didn't predict and what nobody had any idea about was what else was going on in the household. I won't go into details because I would need to post trigger warnings, but I'm sure you can figure it out. I have to say, that said that his family can be troublesome, but they rallied as soon as the flag went up. The cousin, the son, and all of their personal belongings, documents, etc. were out of that house within 2 hours. There was not a trace of them left. I was impressed. All the family shit and dramas were forgotten. We moved both of them into our guest house, and that is where they will be staying for the foreseeable future. Sunday night, the shit hit the fan. He came home to an empty house. His stuff was still there. She had blocked him on everything, so he started going around all the family members kicking off. He was met with a wall of silence. Everyone denied all knowledge of anything and told him where to go. The only place he couldn't get to was ours. He couldn't get past security. We had given them all his details, told them the situation and said that under no circumstances was anyone to be let through to visit us without calling and confirming with us. He showed up and made a scene, but got nowhere. I think security enjoyed it. It is normally a pretty boring job. Next thing we knew, we had the police at our door. I think he had called in a welfare check as guests/knew they were here. We explained the situation and that went nowhere for him. She is talking with our lawyer and they'll be dealing with everything for her. The main thing is that they are both safe and their kid is getting the treatment that he needs. I know I shouldn't take any pleasure in this, but I do. I hate the guy. He will lose everything. They've been missing their mortgage payments. The house will be gone soon. Divorce will be happening and there is apparently an excellent chance of full custody for her. He is spiraling. It would not surprise me if he messes up his job as well. So for now, everything seems to be under control. I don't expect any more updates unless he does something spectacular. Edit. There have been a lot of comments saying that he could be dangerous right now as he has nothing to lose. While you can never be 100% we're in a good position, he would need to get past 2 security checkpoints just to get to our front gate. They're patrols that drive around 24/7. We have 5 dogs. Admittedly, 3 of them are useless, but we have a Doberman and a German Shepherd who spend most of their time outside, by choice. She has no desire to venture outside of this right now, and if she does, she'll be with someone on high alert, just until the dust settles and we see how the land lies. The lawyers are doing their thing in regard to restraining orders, etc., but I don't think we will know what is happening until next week. Thank you for your concern, but for now, they are both totally safe. A commenter says, I'm so glad that you and your husband decided to investigate further. Who knows where his cousin would have ended up with a husband like that. Good luck to the child for the treatment and I hope it all goes well and he and his mother both heal in time. Commenter says, honestly, all of this, also, Opie is a much better man than I am, because even though he said he shouldn't take pleasure in this arsehole getting what he deserves, I certainly do. Opie replies saying, I felt I had to say it in the post but not gonna lie, I'm taking immense pleasure from this. Not what has happened to his cousin obviously, but bringing this arsehole to his knees will bring me great joy. Mrs. Jones says hopefully that attorney can do something so that the debt doesn't fall on her. I doubt this nightmare is over for her. Wishing the best for the little guy. Opie replies saying that won't be a problem. Money-wise, things should be close to balancing out. There will just be nothing left. We'll be helping them get back on their feet. My husband was looking for therapists today for both of them. I expect them to be here for a couple of years. She has talked about some courses she can take, even though it reeks of nepotism. We will create a job for her so she can start building her confidence back up, once she is ready of course. The husband doubling the treatment cost to secretly cover his gambling debt is just awful, isn't it? Using your sick child as leverage to bail yourself out. But good on OP and his husband in this for helping out once they understood the truth. Because the second they realized that the child genuinely needed help and the cousin was in danger, they just seemed to step up massively. Paying the hospital directly was a huge smart move in this situation. So no cash went to the husband's hands, there was no more manipulation. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let's move on to another story. Now our next story is titled, I, 24 female, was placed for adoption when I was a few weeks old. My birth mum's attorney contacted me saying my birth mum wants to meet me, but I don't want to meet her. Help. I guess there's not much more to say. Basically, my parents adopted me when I was 3 or 4 weeks old. I don't know much about my bio mum other than I think the story is she was a teenage mum. I know nothing about my bio father. I've never really been curious or had a desire to know the story or my bio parents either. The fact of the matter is my adopted parents are my real parents. They raised me almost my whole life, and half the time everyone, including me, forgets I'm adopted. I'm now happily married and have a good start to my career. Recently, an attorney representing my birth mother contacted me saying my birth mother very much wants to meet me. Reddit, while I'm grateful to my birth mother for placing me for adoption and for giving me the best set of parents and brothers, my adopted parents' biological children, in the world, I'm not very interested in meeting her. I have no animosity towards her at all. As I said, I'm so grateful she gave me the best shot at life possible, but she is a stranger to me and I feel no pull, tie, or even curiosity about her. I'm happy with my life and my family, and this just seems like it would disturb that or throw it out of balance somehow. Am I a horrible person for not wanting to meet my birth mum? I'm feeling really down about it. My husband supports me either way, but he loves me like crazy and isn't the best for unbiased opinions. Neither my parents or my brothers know about this, just my husband, because I really don't want to involve them unless absolutely necessary. And what should I say to my birth mum's attorney to make the rejection and let down as kind and easy as possible on my birth mum? I don't want to hurt her, but I don't want to meet her. I think the important thing here is that the contact is not owed. Giving birth to someone doesn't automatically create a lifelong emotional claim on someone, especially when the entire point of adoption was to give the child a separate life and family. OP doesn't seem like they're rejecting it out of cruelty, they're feeling bad for doing so. This person's just a stranger to her. Which, don't get me wrong, I feel bad for the birth mother too. She's probably spent years wondering if her daughter hated her, if she was okay, if she'd ever get the chance to explain herself. Reaching out through an attorney instead of barging directly into her life was respectful as you could be, I guess. But again, if OP doesn't want that, then that has to be respected. But Blade says, I'm no expert on the subject, but to me, it seems like your choice. She's extended the invitation and you have every right to decline. No is a full sentence. You have every right to just respond and say no thank you. If you want to do something about it, maybe take some time to write up a little bio, a little essay about your childhood, your life, your husband, etc. The lawyer can give it to your birth mum. It might help her curiosity and assuage any guilt she has. I think that's a fair compromise, since you have no ill will towards your birth mum. It doesn't seem like too much. Good luck. Hope he says, that's definitely something to consider for sure. I asked our attorney if I could please have some time to think about it. He said take all the time I need. This might definitely be the perfect compromise for both of us. Commenter says, well, knowing who your birth mother is doesn't necessarily equal getting to know her or having a relationship with her. Didn't have to want that. Didn't have to want anything at all, and you're well within your rights to let the lawyer know this. Consider that it may be valuable in the future to at least know who and where she is though. I mainly consider these things because genetic heritage is something valuable to know in cases of health and medical matters, and also because your children may care to know this information or what your ancestry can tell them in the future. Knowing where you came from can help in unforeseen ways sometimes. So if you feel inclined, perhaps write a letter to the attorney asking to know your mother's name and location and contact information. But write another letter for the attorney to forward to your birth mother saying that at this time you're not ready for a meeting or a relationship with her. Say what you said here, that you're very happy with your life, that you had a great childhood with a loving family, that you have a promising career ahead of you, that you have a husband who loves you deeply and you him. That may be all she really wants to know. Just how the baby she gave up turned out. Did she make the right choice? You may give her a lot of peace of mind if you just reach out with a letter this way. Then at some point in the future, you might have a change of heart or might want to pass the information down to your own children so that they can pursue it on their own. Just some things to consider. Opie says, this was really good advice, thank you. Hey, if it gives her peace of mind for her to know I had a fantastic life and a bright future ahead, then that seems like the least I can do for the head start she gave me. Opie then edits the post and says, wow guys, I can't believe all the responses. I log on and my inbox is overflowing. While I don't agree with all the responses, I appreciate each and every one of them. I'm still in the process of making up my mind, but I think I know the route I'm going to take. I'll give an update when something happens. Thank you again everyone. Opie then updates the post and says, I just wanted to thank everyone who responded first of all. I took the time to read all your comments and really think through them. Shout out to my husband who has been my rock and confidant in all of this. For anyone who didn't read this is the original post and shares the link. I just wanted to give a quick update and let everyone know what happened. I decided to write a little bio about myself. I gave a brief synopsis of my childhood, my parents and my brothers. I wrote about my college major, my degree, my career, my husband and my plans and goals, as well as some hobbies I like to do. I also included a few photos of me, my husband and my family. I also briefly thanked her for giving me a chance for a wonderful life and that I was very happy. I sent everything to a lawyer and conveyed to him to tell my birth mum that I had thought long and hard about it, that I'm just not ready for a meeting or any kind of relationship at this point in time, but that I wanted her to have some takeaway. I also asked that if she had any relevant medical history on her side of the family or if she knew about any health issues my bio dad faced to please let me know, as my husband and I plan to start a family in the near future. Her lawyer got back to me yesterday and said my birth mum was disappointed about not being able to meet me, but she was thrilled and grateful for the bio and pictures I provided her, and it was clear I'd been raised well, and that she also wanted to tell me there was no major health issues in her family, and to the best of her knowledge, none for my birth father. But if anything came up, could she please contact me in the future? I responded that he, the lawyer, is free to reach out to me at any time if she has any relevant information in the future. I purposely said this because I don't want Biomum just calling me out of the blue one day and possibly trying to harass me into having a relationship. I'd rather do everything through a legal third party. I reiterated again, I don't want a relationship currently, but I might be open to it someday. I doubt it, and they were free to keep my contact information and I would keep theirs just in case. Why burn bridges unnecessarily? He thanked me and that was the end of that. I'm happy with my decision. Glad I could give my birth mum some closure that she made the right choice and happy to be starting my life with my career and husband. I know this isn't the typical juicy stuff Reddit likes, but it is what it is, and I just wanted to let all the people who took their time to help me how it turned out. Thanks again. One more edit. For some grammar, and I also forgot to mention I told my parents and brothers about my birth mum contacting me and telling them that I did not want to meet her, but I did want to give her a quick blog about my life. I was worried my family would be hurt or not take it well, but nothing could be further from the truth. They were all super supportive and said they had my back no matter what decision I made, and that they would love me no matter what. They're very proud and happy for the choice I made here. I'm so grateful to have such an amazing family. I really am blessed. OP just sounds like an incredibly lovely person, a huge amount of kindness and emotional maturity at the same time. You know, she acknowledged what her birth mother gave her, a chance at a good life, without pretending there was some instant mother-daughter bond that she simply didn't feel. And for OP to make that bio with the photos and a life update, it probably answered a lot of questions birth mother was probably thinking about. And the final edit with her adoptive family supporting her through everything, no jealousy, no insecurity, no guilt tripping, just we love you and support your choice. All just wonderful. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you for being here today, getting involved in the stories, your love, your support, your time. It always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much for being here. And hopefully I'm going to see you in the next one. Take care. And much love.